Hi, I'm Jenna, and I'm 40 years old. Like many women, I've faced challenges with mistreatment from my in-laws, but my story stands out because I found a way to reclaim my voice and set boundaries. I hope sharing my journey will inspire others who are dealing with similar issues. It all started when my husband approached me one day and said, "I have something really important to tell you." Concerned, I asked, "What's going on? Is everything okay?" "No, not really. I've seen something disturbing. It involves my mom and sister, and it's bad." I was immediately anxious. What did they do? Micah, my husband, looked at me with regret. "I finally see it. They don't have your best interests at heart, and I'm sorry for not believing you sooner." He was talking about all the times his mother, Gladys, and sister, Hannah, had treated me poorly. They sabotaged my outfits before important events, messed with my food and drinks to embarrass me, and even spread rumors to undermine my business. All this because they resented me for marrying into their family. I had brought these issues up with Micah many times, but he always dismissed them. However, something had changed now. "What made you realize this?" I asked. Micah showed me footage from our business's security cameras. Together, we run a store selling handcrafted items like baby clothes and purses, something I started and am deeply passionate about. But Gladys and Hannah always discouraged me, saying it wasn't worth the effort. "I saw them do this," Micah said, pointing to the screen. The video revealed two masked figures, one tall and one shorter, vandalizing our shop with spray paint. "Look closely at the shorter one. Notice the necklace?" Micah prompted. I focused on the woman in the video, and sure enough, she wore a distinct necklace, the same one Micah had gifted his mother from a trip to Fiji. "I can't believe it. That's her, isn't it?" I was in shock, my suspicions finally confirmed. "Yeah, I believe you now," he said quietly. Tears filled my eyes, tears of both frustration and relief. Frustration that it had taken him so long to see the truth, but relief that he finally understood. I had been holding back, unwilling to fully confront his family out of respect for him, but now, everything was out in the open. Just then, Micah's phone rang. It was Hannah. After a brief conversation, he turned to me and said, "Hannah called. Uncle Peter is back in town, and Mom's planning a big family gathering this weekend." I sighed, knowing what was ahead. "Are you going to bring up the footage?" "I want to, but they're my family. If you want to confront them, I'll support you." The weekend arrived, and we went to Gladys' house early to help prepare for the event. As soon as we walked in, I could feel the tension. Gladys and Hannah greeted us with forced smiles that barely concealed their disdain. "Oh, you're here early," Gladys remarked. "Yes, we wanted to help out since it'll be a big crowd today," I replied, trying to keep the peace. "How thoughtful," she said, though her eyes told a different story. She and Hannah exchanged a glance filled with contempt. As we prepared for the guests, Gladys commented in an overly sweet tone, "I heard your shop was vandalized. What a shame." Hannah chimed in with mock sympathy, "Yes, absolutely tragic." It was obvious they were behind it, and I had to bite my tongue to keep from calling them out right then. They wore smug expressions, barely containing their glee over what they'd done. "Yeah, it's awful," I replied, holding back my anger, "but we're hopeful the police will figure out who did it." At this, Hannah's face paled. "The police? Don't you think that's a bit extreme for some harmless vandalism?" I smiled sweetly and said, "Well, whoever did it knew exactly what they were doing. They won't get away with it." Hannah and Gladys exchanged nervous glances. I knew my moment would come soon, but for now, I was content to let them squirm, knowing that their actions were finally catching up to them. I agree with Hannah. We all made silly mistakes as teenagers. Let's not make a big deal of it. Let's just focus on getting everything ready for the party. Their attempt to downplay the situation was obvious, especially after all the questions they'd just asked. Micah and I exchanged a knowing glance and joined in with the preparations. We spent the entire morning and early afternoon setting up, cooking, and cleaning. By 3 p.m., family members began arriving for the reunion. After wrapping up our tasks and taking a breather, Micah pulled me aside. "I've got something for you, a hidden mic. I want you to wear it." "What? Why? What's going on?" "I'm not strong enough to confront them, my mom and sister. I know you wish I could be more assertive, but I think this might be a better approach. You'll get all the credit when the truth comes out. You've always been stronger than me. Wear the mic and approach them. You might expose something and finally get the justice you deserve. I won't stop you." Though I wished Micah would confront them himself, I appreciated his support. I put on the mic, hit record, and went to find the two troublemakers. I found them deep in conversation in the kitchen, so I paused to eavesdrop at the door. She's on to us. Mom, did you see the way she looked at us? Hannah, stop panicking, she has no idea it was us. I'm telling you, she knows everything. Even if she suspects something, what can she do? Micah loves us, and she loves him too. If she tells him, he'll just brush it off, like he always does. That's how we've been getting away with it, right? What do you mean? Remember how we ruined her dress before her crochet business pitch? Or when we messed with her food and drinks? She told Micah, but because he loves us, he ignored it. He'll do the same now. I couldn't stand their evil plotting any longer and burst into the room. I had been recording everything, but I needed more evidence. I had to get closer. Hey, you two, Uncle Peter will be here soon. Do you need help with anything? Jenna, you scared us. Yes, Jenna, my heart's weak, don't startle me like that. Funny, you don't seem that fragile to me. What did you say? Oh, nothing, just that you seem pretty lively for someone with a weak heart. Lively? What do you mean by that? Well, I could have sworn I saw you recently, doing something pretty active, like in a black outfit with a mask on. They froze for a second, realizing what I was hinting at. Gotcha. Yeah, I think you were up to something serious. What exactly are you insinuating? Gladys asked, shutting the door to make the conversation private. You know exactly what I'm implying. We have no idea what you're talking about, so stop it. Oh, I don't know, maybe I also saw someone else, with their face covered, involved in something illegal. What a shame. I hope the authorities catch those culprits soon. Mom, we should go, Hannah said, clearly rattled. Not so fast, Hannah, I have something I want you both to see. What's that? I showed them the security footage Micah had shown me. Oh, you caught the vandals. Well, now that you know who they are, we can drop the issue. Jenna, this is ridiculous. Vandalism happens to other businesses all the time. Yeah, Jenna, let it go. It's not worth all this fuss. Well, Gladys, I think it is a big deal. Let me show you something specific in this video. I zoomed in on the footage, showing them the necklace. Their horrified expressions told me everything I needed to know. They were guilty. Mom, stop. This doesn't prove anything, Hannah shouted. Who else owns this necklace? Gladys? I can't keep quiet anymore. Fine, it was us, Hannah. Mom, shut up. Well, Jenna, you figured it out. We're the ones who trashed your business, but what are you going to do about it? Yeah, Jenna, Micah cares more about us than he does you. Even if you try to take action, he'll defend us. You're right, Micah loves you both, and he might not punish you, but what makes you think I won't do something about it? You've messed with my business, my livelihood. I'm not letting this slide. They lunged to snatch the phone from me, but I was quicker and managed to dodge them. Come back here, you little brat. You can grab the phone if you want, but the data's already backed up. Fighting me won't do any good unless you want to worsen your weak heart. Don't provoke my mom like that. Or what? What will you do? I'll hurt you in ways you can't even imagine. Oh, I'm terrified. Please don't hurt me. You smug little. We were running around the kitchen when I finally opened the door, just in time, because standing right outside was Micah. Help, your mom and sister have lost it. I just came to let you know that Uncle Peter has arrived. What's going on? I'll tell you what's happening, Gladys snapped. Your wife is accusing us of damaging her business and even threatening us. That's a lie, I protested. Tell them, Micah. There was an uncomfortable silence. Micah looked conflicted, struggling to find the right words. I know you're not used to standing up to your mom and sister, or speaking up at all, but I need you to defend me, your wife, right now, please. Still, silence lingered, and Micah seemed weighed down. Disappointment stung me. You see, Hannah chimed in, her tone smug. Micah will always side with us. He loves us more than you. That's not fair, Micah finally replied. I love you all equally. You're all important to me, which makes this hard. Hard? Why is telling the truth difficult? I demanded. You're the one who showed me the video. What? Hannah and Gladys exclaimed, shocked. Micah, why would you do that? Because it's my business too, he explained. And what you did was wrong, not just this time, but all the other times you've hurt my wife. It needs to stop. I'm willing to forgive you, I added. Speak for yourself, I continued. I'm still pressing charges. Not if I have a say in it, Hannah retorted, defiant. Just then, Uncle Peter, the guest of honor, entered the room. He looked happy but also concerned, sensing the tension in the air while everyone else waited for the reunion to start. "Oh, Peter, it's so good to see you," Gladys greeted him, putting on her best fake smile. "You're looking fantastic. Let me show you to your seat and hear all about your trip." "We're not finished, Jenna," Hannah whispered threateningly as they walked away. "If you try anything, we'll make sure Micah divorces you." "Why do you treat Micah like a child?" I shot back. "He's a grown man who can make his own decisions. He wouldn't leave me just because you tell him to, right, Micah?" Micah hesitated again, looking down for the second time in minutes. I couldn't believe it. Furious, I stormed over to the large dining table where about 30 people were seated. I sat down, seething, but tried to compose myself. Shortly after, Micah and Hannah joined me, but I kept quiet, too angry to listen even though Micah seemed like he wanted to talk. Eventually, Gladys and Uncle Peter arrived, and we kicked off the reunion despite the earlier fight. The festivities began, but as we ate, my anger built up until I couldn't hold it any longer. "I need everyone's attention," I shouted, standing up. "I've got something important to share. Some people here have always despised me and tried to ruin my life. Some of you might already know, but let me make sure the rest of you understand." I played the recording from earlier for everyone to hear. Gasps erupted from the group, shocked at the conversation. Hannah and Gladys froze, denying everything and calling me a liar. The dinner turned chaotic. We exchanged heated words, while other adults at the table tried to make sense of what was happening. Micah, as usual, remained silent until we heard sirens in the distance. Everyone fell silent. The police were coming. "What have you done, you wicked woman?" Gladys screeched. "I'll make you pay." "I didn't do anything," I replied. "It was me." Micah stepped forward. "I called them." "Mom, Hannah, it's time to face the consequences. I contacted the police, and they have a warrant because I secretly recorded the conversation Jenna shared with everyone. We've all seen how you've treated Jenna, but no one said anything, especially me. Jenna's my wife, and from now on, I'm standing with her. You both need to stop." Just as Micah finished, the police entered and arrested Gladys, who cursed and shouted as they took her away. Hannah tried to escape, but the officers caught her. Both women were humiliated as they were dragged out of the house, glaring at me and accusing Micah of betrayal. After their exit, the night continued, albeit awkwardly at first. The rest of us gradually opened up about how toxic they'd been. Uncle Peter even joked that he'd rather be in jail than around them. We all laughed and enjoyed the remainder of the reunion without them. Throughout the evening, some family members got calls from the local jail. Knowing it was Gladys and Hannah, some answered, telling them they needed to learn their lesson, while others claimed they had bad reception or simply ignored the calls. Micah and I grew closer after his act of support. Though Gladys and Hannah paid a fine and were released, their pride was deeply wounded. Now, when we see them, they appear ashamed and intimidated, which suits me perfectly. Revenge has never been sweeter. Thanks for watching, stay tuned for more, and I'll see you in the next video.